I'm thrilled to be able to demonstrate to you my support for AONBs and to acknowledge the really hard work and tremendous expertise of each of you gathered here today. Since taking ministerial responsibility for both AONBs and national parks, I've been keen to develop opportunities in our protected landscapes, which, I don't need to tell you, cover a quarter of the surface area of England, and which contain our most beautiful places. I know that you are very well aware that DEFRA has suffered significant budget cuts during recent years, but I'm also hugely grateful for the widespread awareness I've encountered from you that the funding of our AONBs and national parks has been relatively protected. For 2015-16, despite nearly a 10% cut to DEFRA funding, subject to all the usual caveats, I can say that we plan to maintain AONB budgets at the 2014-15 level, recognising the small size of your staff and the need to keep external and partner funding coming in. Can I say up front that I am fully committed to maintaining AONB granting aid at the highest level that my department can afford, though you know very well that we are still living in some very challenging financial circumstances, and it's, I think, in our mutual interest that every possible alternative source of revenue is explored, and I know you're doing a lot of work on that. You're also well aware of the Land Use Consultant's report about raising external revenues in protected landscapes, and we're working closely with both you and national parks to pick up on its recommendations. I want to help you in any way I can, including with my ministerial colleagues across government. I ask you to continue to work closely across the AONB family and with my officials and to continue to make your case as deserving recipients of funding from any available source. So I welcome the fact that in 2013-14 AONB-led Biodiversity 2020 projects are bringing nearly 23,000 hectares of priority habitat into appropriate management. Under future nature improvement area initiatives, the AONBs are in, I think, a good position to coordinate and deliver even more for biodiversity and to make significant contributions, for example, to the National Pollinator Strategy. As we continue to work together to build the case for funding for AONBs, please ask for my help in any way that I'm able to give it. I've taken up all the invitations to AONBs I've received so far, and I've been really excited to see at first hand so much great work being undertaken across the country. I'd like to pay a special tribute to the association and to all the excellent work it does on behalf of the family of AONBs and the wider protected landscape movement. Managing the expectations of 44 UK AONBs can't be an easy task, and its work doing that is warmly welcomed by each of us at DEFRA and across other government departments. I know that you've worked really hard with DCLG, for example, on planning matters, and with DCMS on protected monuments, other historic assets and broadband. I do appreciate that we are asking more of you at a time when you're increasingly stretched. It's in no small part down to the association that despite these difficult circumstances, the family of AONBs has been strengthened in recent years, as you've made impressive use of each other's expertise, including the convening of these annual conferences. And I should say at this stage, I'm extremely grateful for the support of all the conference sponsors. I've been pleased to see that National Grid is principal sponsor for this conference, and I've noted that the association has encouraged joint working and larger scale delivery between AONBs and national park authorities, and that must be the right direction of travel, both at a local and national level. You share many of the same issues and indeed opportunities, and you can deliver, you are respected, and you can work on a large scale, both locally and across 1/4 of England's surface area. That surely should make you stand out in any discussion, for example, with lottery funders, not just as potential recipients, but also as potential dispersers of those funds. I'm convinced this conference will have helped all protected landscapes, given the collective experience and wisdom gathered here. The government's message on economic growth to promote recovery has been clear. So I will continue to stress that rural economic growth, which capitalises on the special qualities of AONBs, is vital. And I do mean capitalise, not compromise. But we do need to understand more about local economies. I think we've developed quite a good working knowledge of land-based industries, farming, forestry, tourism. These help to shape and sustain our landscapes, hence our long-term collective interest. But we know far less about many other businesses, often quite small enterprises, and their more indirect relationship with the landscape. Our recent research showed that protected landscapes are relatively prosperous areas and have fared better than many other areas in recent years. We've also learned that the relationship between protected landscapes and the areas immediately surrounding them shows promise in terms of more research and better understanding. The economy never, of course, respects administrative boundaries, so flows of money and people in and out of protected landscapes are not necessarily well understood. Other promising areas of research are the ecosystem services provided by protected landscapes, the most obvious being land management and water catchment. We're looking for better outcomes in these areas which benefit individual businesses but also operate on a scale that makes change compelling. So I'm delighted that you're getting closer to achieving some of this through some novel approaches which you've adopted. I doubt that many new land management and water quality improvement schemes would have happened without your vision and determination and enthusiasm. My simple message is that better land management in protected landscapes will deliver better results for biodiversity and a range of other associated benefits. Natural beauty and biodiversity is what attracts people to our protected landscapes, and we must continue to do all we can to conserve and enhance the wonderful assets we have in those areas. Research in the High Weald in 2007 showed that a high proportion of influential and senior business people live and work in the AONB, and increasingly with greater home working and lifestyle businesses located in AONBs, you will attract more and more natural supporters and should be able to capitalise on their residency by enlisting their support. What you can do for me is to provide me with as many specific examples as possible of sustainable development within your AONBs. So please send me details of the best examples from your own local areas of businesses which have thrived by pursuing economic growth congruent with the landscape in which they're located. I'll be able to use those examples in making the case for AONBs with everyone who will listen ministers, businesses and so on. I've heard your concerns about the effect the planning system has on your ability to protect AONBs on the nation's behalf. I've also noted your fears that speculative development will swamp many AONBs in areas currently without approved local plans with 5-year housing supplies in place. I've discussed this with Nick Bowles to ensure your concerns are understood, and I've encouraged my officials to work closely with his to find a way through. So, to summarise, what's my message to you? Please continue to work with passion and commitment to conserve and enhance a significant proportion of the most precious and beautiful landscapes in our country. I will do my best to support you by making the case within DEFRA and with other government departments and elsewhere. I hope I've gone some way to convincing you that I am fully committed to protecting your DEFRA funding, though I have to stress that I can't give you any guarantees in these difficult times. You must understand that. However, I am as confident as I can be that you will be able to continue to work efficiently and effectively as tried and trusted delivery partners, and I can assure you that I will give you all the support I possibly can as we work together for the good of our landscapes, our wildlife, and the many people who enjoy and appreciate them. It is for them, ultimately, that we're here today and that all of us are doing what we do. Thank you very much.